What is Chiron in 12th house? Everything you should know. Chiron in 12th house indicates individuals who are deeply empathetic and attuned to the emotions present around themselves. Have you ever felt sensitive to the emotions around you? Do you feel fine-tuned to what everyone is feeling? This might indicate the presence of Chiron in the 12th house. It can also result in certain psychic abilities. This might feel overwhelming and lead you to close off your mind. However, the key is to be yourself while not getting too invested in every emotion around. Chiron in 12th house. Chiron in 12th house might seem to be difficult, especially with all that it might throw in your path. Nevertheless, this provides a lesson in endurance and acceptance. There is pain, but there is also a prospect for growth. Take a look as we further dive into what Chiron in 12th house can entail. Chiron in Taurus 12th house. Chiron in Taurus 12th house gives rise to feelings of dissatisfaction and indifference. This is not only with regards to emotions but also physically. There is a feeling of neglect present spiritually. The strong feeling of dissatisfaction also leads to feelings of emptiness in actions and also in spirit. This is mostly stemmed from the fact that you may constantly feel the need to reevaluate your values, change them and bring in new ones. The lack of a stable system makes you seek incidents and material things that can carve a permanent place in your life. You also tend to hold on to particular incidents that give you happiness and satisfaction. To hold on to these moments and objects seem to hurt less. Once you find views and values that give you considerable satisfaction at the moment, you are not too keen to change them. These actions often lead a Chiron in Taurus to close off their hearts to the outside world. This includes emotional and spiritual wounds, which the Chiron in Taurus hides away. You will tend to build strong barriers around yourself and try your best to accomplish this. It is because there is fear associated with the thought of healing itself. While this may seem convenient, you must learn how to get over it. Nevertheless, the Chiron in Taurus also gives rise to feelings of curiosity, which is why you might always seek to find answers. This is also due to the fact that you want to prevent yourself from getting any ugly surprises later on. Since you tend to hang on to past moments, you will also want to refer to them as possible guides. The thirst for knowledge can lead to pride in gaining it. Your interest, in this case, may lie in subjects that are not commonly explored much. The clairvoyant tendencies can lead to you looking for hidden meanings and potentials in situations and as well as people. This, paired with the heightened awareness of emotions, may also lead you to always seek to help others even if you are overwhelmed by sadness almost continuously. You may act as their guides and encourage them to walk on a path even if you yourself might not have the courage to. However, there is mostly minimal or no appreciation received for these efforts. With Chiron in Taurus 12th house, you will not even demand it but rather accept it as it is. This, clashing with feelings of arrogance, can give you grief and feelings of hopelessness. You will always strive to heal others and impart feelings of compassion. However, when it comes to yourself, you might not be the most receptive to such feelings. Rather, you would like to heal by spending more time with yourself. This is directly in tune with your tendencies to barricade yourself from feelings and people in general. However, you will also always try to be just and fair in everything you attempt to do. Chiron in Leo 12th house. Chiron in Leo 12th house brings with feelings of despair and hopelessness. There is a feeling of a lack of love and affection. At the same time, you would also not be too keen to seek these out yourself. This is because of feelings of mistrust as well as fear of what can hurt you. Although the other person may care for you, you might feel it is not enough. Although you may feel the need to reach out, there might be fear holding you back. You want to help people, but you might not always be ready to get it back because what if it goes wrong? Emotional and spiritual sensitivity is a common trait. You will be finely tuned to the flow of emotions around you. Since Chiron was known as a healer, you will seek out to help others when they feel lost. This also gives you the role of a guide and even a mediator. With the Chiron in Leo 12th house, you will see a lot of hardships being thrown your way. There may even be a confrontation of hidden fears. They may feel overwhelming, especially paired with your spiritual sensitivity. You might get urges to not confront these. You would seek familiarity, getting attracted to things that you already know. You must, however, remember that these hardships will help you grow and mature, and the Chiron in the 12th house is encouraging you to do just that. The path of self-discovery can be intimidating but can also yield great results. The journey is one of being kind and understanding of yourself as well as others. Heartsickness might sound like a myth, but individuals with Chiron in Leo 12th house know how real it is. Their affinity to feel what others are feeling adds to their burden to deal with emotions by themselves. This is why you may notice them distancing themselves, or you might feel yourself doing so in the face of heartbreak or terribly sad moments. Acceptance is the key to be in harmony with Chiron in 12th house. It will help you grow and accept yourself and be more open to possibilities. The effect of Chiron in 12th house may also vary from person to person. Although the general idea might be the same, there can be certain nuances that only the individual may be able to realize. It differs based on their intuitiveness and how sensitive they are with spiritual events. Due to this, different people may depend on various sources for a sense of stability. Since they themselves are always changing their values, they may seek help from different figures. Chiron in Leo 12th house individuals also feel they get much less praise than what they deserve. They feel their work, whatever it is, deserved more recognition. It is also hurt and trauma that stems from this dejection. If this happens at a young age, you might be apprehensive of showing your true self when you grow up. Chiron in 12th house synastry. Synastry essentially tells you about your compatibility with another person. It compares the two natal charts to give you results about how the dynamics might fare between you both. This birth chart is mapped out during one's birth according to various factors like their planets. In synastry, it is this energy that is scrutinized to see how well the relationships are being formed between them. In Chiron in 12th house synastry, the focus of the relationship is on spiritual and emotional well-being and healing. In general, when Chiron is in your 12th house, you might feel distrustful and unwilling to take the risk of depending on another person. However, it is quite possible to do that with the right person. How can you find them? Through synastry. As it will tell how suitable you are for one another, you might have an easier time trusting them. The Chiron, who is a guiding and healing spirit, will tend to look into the fears and secrets of the person who is having the 12th house in the relationship. Although there are bad memories and apprehension, there is also comfort and good vibes in the 12th house. Both people in the relationship experience together. The Chiron works in harmony with the 12th house to coax the latter out into the world. The Chiron acts as a guide and helps the other to lessen their guilt and feelings of dissatisfaction and disappointment. This can form a very healthy relationship that leads to synergy and dependence. The fear and trauma for both parties are mostly hidden and express themselves when in a close relationship with each other. The sudden expression might be very overwhelming sometimes. This is why it is better to know about these effects beforehand to somewhat prepare for what might come. Since the relationship is one of healing, it mostly works out. There is a synergy that might not be found elsewhere. Through these links, you will be more aware of your partner's emotional state and needs. There may be a psychic or telepathic link that makes you tuned to what your partner is feeling. While this might sound like it is too much, it does tend to work out when there is an understanding between you two. With your Chiron, you also realize the deep potential that lies within your partner with the 12th house. Since they grow up emotionally sensitive, it might be that they didn't trust themselves enough or were not supported enough and did not realize or show their true talents. It can be due to various reasons, including their family, friends, and others in their immediate surroundings. They might also have experienced psychic tendencies which they did not understand completely. Not only would they have been burdened with their own expectations, but also of others, to who they are so sensitive. This may have left them to close themselves off. As the one with the guiding spirit, you can help them realize it and walk them through a path where they can be themselves. Not only will you be healing them, but also guide them to help others. Beware, however, that problems may arise. The worrying part is, it might snowball into something bigger than both of you might be reluctant to handle. Chiron in 12th house synastry relationships do end like this. Since there is a high level of emotional sensitivity, empathy, and intuitiveness of both sides, misunderstandings might be a problem. There might be a subtle difference in particular relationships. The key to deal with them is through communication. It might seem difficult in this synastry, but since both you and your partner are supposedly compatible, things might also work out. Chiron in 12th house natal. Chiron in the 12th house natal indicates that you may or might have received deep emotional scars at a young age. This might make you scared to realize your potential to the greatest extent. It is indicative of hurt and wounds that might seem to never be healed. The only way to deal with this is to accept these wounds and try to grow from and with them. There is also the presence of nervousness and an inability to trust in one's skills and abilities. The emotional sensitivity can make you overly critical of yourself, as you feel others do too. Although you might feel no one cares, your skills are important and might just help someone. Overcoming these feelings might require tremendous emotional strength, but it is possible. Even if you are hurt, you will feel a need to help others. Chiron in 12th house individuals seeks to do more for others than for themselves. It is always good to help others, however, you must also take time and accept healing for yourself. Endnotes. As we have seen, Chiron in 12th house has multiple aspects. The predominant thoughts among these are ones of healing but also of trauma, emotional scars, and fear. It might be overwhelming, but if you accept them, it will lead to growth and maturity. The best way to deal with it is to allow yourself to understand what Chiron in 12th entails, especially when it comes to you.